This is Rogers TV.
As you can see from that video, that the Oshawa Generals are celebrating being Eastern Conference champions. Congratulations to the Oshawa Generals, and we wish them best of luck with the finals in London. So I'm Jackie Hermans, the host of Uxbridge Scugog Life, and we have a fantastic show up for you. Scugog Fire is going to be on the show talking about their new campaign. We need these reminders. You got to make sure you keep on watching. Also, CMHA is talking about the importance of compassion for yourself, and you'll be getting some wonderful tips to help to ease that inner stress and anxiety that we can put upon ourselves, which basically gives us the reality that we experience. And then also up on the show, we have Oak Ridges Hospice with talking about a couple of their important fundraisers that they have. Thank you so much for watching. You better keep on watching. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Was that 4 or 5? He's lost count and still thinks he can drive. Do you think he knows that when he is caught and charged with impaired driving, he'll lose his license and a lot more? If he gets in his car, he'll face costs exceeding $20,000. Does he realize he could have a criminal record for his choice to drive? And it could be much worse if he crashes. Wonder what he'll be thinking tomorrow.
Have a hold on one at 15.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Hey there, it's Taylor Bursey, back for another season of Modern Business right here on Rogers TV. I'll be talking to entrepreneurs and market makers under the age of 40 doing amazing things. Make sure to check it out right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So I have Christy Lynn Pankhurst from Scugog Fire. She is the Community Outreach and Professional Development Officer, and it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I understand you have a new campaign going. It is Spring into Summer Safety.
Yes, so the 8 fire departments in Durham Region and the Kawartha Lakes Fire and Rescue Service have teamed up with local radio stations to launch this campaign, which will run from now through to July, the start of summer. And we're spreading a lot of different fire safety and emergency preparedness information.
Okay, you know what I feel like I need to reinforce to our listeners or viewers is that even if you've heard about fire safety before, swimming safety before, barbecuing safety before, it is really important to keep that fresh in your mind, because we're like, we heard that, whatever, but then we take shortcuts and then stuff happens. Mm-hmm. So I'm really glad you're on the show, because we need to continue to reinforce. We're not doing it because everyone's getting it, right? We're having issues.
Exactly.
So we need to reinforce it.
Yes, and when we have an incident, oftentimes people didn't think it would happen to them. So it's an accident, mistakes are made, but most emergencies are preventable. So if we want to talk first maybe about campfires, in Scugog, a permit is required for all burning. And if you're in a different municipality, it's important you check with them for the rules and regulations. So for us, as an example, you can visit the municipal website, scugog.ca/burn permit, and find out all of the regulations based on the size of yard you have, what type of area you live in, if you're in town versus out in a rural area. And again, permit is required for all fires. And if you don't have a permit and there's a problem and we have to respond to a fire, then you'll be responsible for the fees associated with our response.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm just even thinking, so I live in Uxbridge, and I had looked into where I was living previously. I had looked into like what are the regulations. I can't even remember if it was feet, or would it be ridiculous if it was 30 meters?
So it would probably be 30 feet from specific items like,
Right, like
structures, vegetation, that type of thing.
Right.
But again, those numbers can vary from municipality to municipality.
Okay.
But for a big fire, 30 meters wouldn't be unrealistic. So like a farmer having an oversized burn in their field
Okay.
would have to meet much higher setbacks than a small recreational fire that a family's having on a Friday night.
Okay.
So again, it can vary. Just check the website. All the information will be there, or give your local fire prevention officer a call and they'll tell you everything you need to know.
Okay, so let's talk about barbecuing and the different things that we might not, we were just like, hey, barbecue, simple. No, what are some things we really need to keep in mind?
So it's that time of year again, everybody's pulling their barbecues out. The weather's nice, you want to have a great dinner outside. Clean and service your barbecue after using it last year and just putting it away into storage for the winter. So make sure that the grill is nice and clean. Maintain a safe clearance around the barbecue, away from combustibles. Don't barbecue up on the deck underneath a big overhang in case it catches on fire. Don't barbecue in the garage. That can also contribute to a buildup of carbon monoxide in the garage. So even if it's raining, don't take that risk and pull it inside and barbecue in there. And keep kids and pets away from the barbecue while you're cooking as well.
So my barbecue is situated just in front of a wood fence.
Not necessarily the best. I wouldn't recommend it because so often we see something catch on fire on there, and then it can catch the surroundings on fire as well.
Right.
So yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. I would, when you're using it, pull it away from the fence and use it in a more open area, or at least if it's away from your house. It's just the fence that's going to be at risk, but yeah, it could spread, right?
And what about when you have your barbecue on a wooden deck? Like, do you recommend having something on the ground directly underneath the barbecue?
That should be okay having it on the deck, but again, just not right under the soffit of the house type thing, in case, because typically the heat and flames would travel upwards, right?
Okay.
But if something was on fire and you drop it on the deck, then try to back away, call 911 if you're in danger and there's any chance of a fire getting out of control.
Okay, so let's talk about water safety. We only have just over a minute.
Okay.
But what are some key things that we need to keep in mind?
Especially right now, the water's pretty high. Banks might be really soft. We've got the soft ground spring runoff, so know where your kids are right now. Don't have them out playing by retention ponds, by lakes, rivers. Streams can be flowing very quickly. And as we get into boating season, keep in mind all those safe boating tips. Equip your boat with all the safety equipment that you need. Everybody should be wearing a proper fitting PFD. And if you're going out somewhere in your boat or you're going somewhere on a paddleboard out on the lake, tell someone where you're going. Have a plan, and if you don't get home by a certain time, then they'll know to look for you, get in touch with you, and see if you're okay.
Right, and if you don't have those water safety kits with you, whether you're in a kayak or a paddleboard or a boat, you can also be fine.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and they come even on small little lakes.
Yes, exactly.
But it's to educate and keep people safe, to make sure. So having the ropes and the flashlights and the whistles and all that fun stuff, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so good. So do you want to name off a website that people can go to for more information?
I would suggest scugog.ca/fire, and we update our website regularly with seasonal safety tips. Or again, check your local municipality's website.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Christy.
you.
So good to have you on the show. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. Alec King is in the house from CMHA. He is the Communications and Public Relations Lead. And it was Mental Health Week last week.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so tell me, how did it go?
It was
what
wonderful.
went down?
It was wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, Jackie, by the way. But
great to have you.
We had a wonderful Mental Health Week. We've had a ton of support from inside of the community. The No Surrender Hockey Challenge was on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, raising money for CMHA Durham. And also on Saturday, we had a fundraiser at Henry's Cameras where people were doing pet portraits with the proceeds going to CMHA, which is lovely. So we're always grateful for the support we get from our community.
Now, I did not hear, but what is the No Surrender Hockey Challenge? What was that?
It's actually a really long running. It broke briefly over the pandemic, but it's a hockey tournament. And it runs at the Oshawa Ice Center. It's run by the community members, by Brian Stanton, who's been a longtime supporter of CMHA Durham, and he runs this tournament with the proceeds that go to support us.
That's amazing.
It's
as soon as you said No Surrender, I thought about Corey Hart. Never Okay, I better not know. I don't
No,
want
we're
to have
dating ourselves on that one,
things.
yeah.
Okay. You really should have had him show up.
Oh, yeah, no,
I'm
absolutely.
just saying, you should have consulted me first.
Yes.
But
Next time.
Next time. All right, so you also have... we're going to want to remind everyone about your open house.
Yes.
But before we get into that, let's talk about what the theme is now for CMHA.
So the theme for Mental Health Week was a call to be kind, and it was about compassion and how to kind of exercise that compassion for other people. So as Mental Health Week's wrapping up, we want to talk about self-compassion and how people can kind of look after themselves and bring that same respect that we're encouraging people to look at with other people to have that for themselves as well.
That is so incredibly important. I heard this saying and it stuck with me. It's however, let's say, harsh you are on someone else, you are 10 times harsher on yourself.
Absolutely, yes.
And it really starts with the thoughts that you have in your head. Every single thought makes an impact, right?
Exactly, and that can kind of build your reality. So a lot of the time we think about we talk to ourselves with our own inner voice way worse than we would ever talk to our family or friends or anyone we care about, and honestly a lot worse than we would want to talk to a stranger or we would want to hear someone spoken to. The voice in our head can be much meaner than we would ever want it to be, and identifying that and finding ways to kind of change that can have a huge impact on how you live your life.
And it can happen so under the radar. You don't even realize how often or how harshly you are talking to yourself, because it comes from how you've grown up and what you've heard again and again and again. We can have this patterning to cut ourselves down.
It's a persistent thing that you kind of grow used to, and the real trick is identifying it. Right. And realizing that the way you are talking about yourself is not necessarily healthy, and it's not the way you would want other people to talk about you. So when you are having thoughts about an action or something that's happened, often times when we've made mistakes or something like that, it's realizing that it's normal to make mistakes. People make mistakes all the time, and to look at yourself as a whole person and kind of judge yourself by the weight of everything as opposed to this one particular incident, because that can be really overwhelming. We have these things and we globalize and we assume that this is a bad thing about you in general, and really it's just a small problem that most people would not see externally in the same way.
Right, and I like to even flip the script, even rather than we tend to call them mistakes, but to help to change that thought process, I like to say it was a learning. There really are no mistakes. We're not meant to know it all, and sometimes we need to go through things several times to learn how to do things differently, to learn how to react differently, to learn how to be more efficient, right? To learn how to be a better partner, a better parent.
Exactly.
We need to have these learnings.
Failure is the greatest teacher, and the only time it becomes an issue is when you don't learn from it. So the problem when we think I'm a failure and I have failed is that you don't give yourself the opportunity to kind of learn and grow from it. Right. So like you're saying, thinking of this as like this is an opportunity to improve, that's a positive way to think of it, and to think about how you can do better moving forward. Right. But at the same time, it's really important to realize that you're not a bad person for making that mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then sometimes I find those thoughts can really get ramped up when we've caused someone else pain, when we've ignited someone else's emotions. we can't be in charge of everyone else's inner world. The only thing that we can change and be in charge of is our own inner world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And the guilt for how we feel about that, how we feel like we've put something negative out there when we only had positive intentions in the first place, can be really overwhelming. And that's another opportunity to stop and think, I had good intentions. And like you said, we can't always control other people's reactions.
I'm always doing the best that I can. Right?
Exactly.
So you notice those, notice your thoughts, and maybe you notice the emotion first. You're feeling crappy because of where have my thoughts been? And then you start to soften those thoughts, every thought at a time. We only have 30 seconds left. Can you remind everyone about the open house coming up?
We would love for everyone to come to our open house on May 22nd. It's from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and people can register on our website. There are guided tours where staff from the organization will show about everyone our programs and services, or you can take times where you're able to wander through and just check things out for yourself.
And what's that address?
cmhadurham.ca.
Okay, and what is the physical address?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that is wonderful.
You can find
We're doing both.
Exactly.
Perfect.
You can find our headquarters at 60 Bond Street in Oshawa. It's accessible on all the bus lines. It's very easy to get to.
Awesome. Well, thank you. As always, it's so wonderful to have you on the show. And make sure you check out that website for tips and tricks to be able to help you with that inner world. One thought at a time.
Exactly.
Keep on getting more positive.
Just show that compassion to yourself.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Alec. We'll
Thanks a
be
lot,
back
Jackie.
with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play, and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me on the show, we have Christine Voss, who is the Executive Director of Oakridge's Hospice, and we have Megan McLeod, who is, we were saying Jack or Jill of all trades, basically the administrative assistant of Oakridge's Hospice. Welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I saw you promoting a really unique fundraiser called Catch the Ace on Connecting in Uxbridge, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because I didn't know what this was about and what you're trying to raise funds for. So I'm glad you're on the show so we can talk about this.
Well, thank you very much. So Oakridge's Hospice opened in April of 2021. Our current budget is only funded 50% by the Ministry of Health. And so we have to figure out how we're going to make up the rest of our operational budget. So we have a number of fundraisers. We do a hike for hospice. It's our 7th year this year. And the hike happens on June 2nd. You can come in as a team, as an individual, come and walk and raise awareness and money for Oakridge's. And we needed to find another one that was unique. And we came up with Chase the Ace. And yeah,
I think I said catch the ace.
You did. It's okay.
Just
it's
catch
okay.
it.
Yeah, no. We're going to chase it.
We're going to chase that ace. Okay.
Yes, and Megan has taken the lead on it with assistance. So I'm going to ask her to talk about Chase the Ace.
Okay. Now, I do want to ask you, how much money are you wanting to raise this year? What's that goal?
We would like to raise $1 million. So through a number of different donations and fundraisers and third-party fundraisers and support from our community, hopefully we'll get there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about Chase the Ace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about this.
So we're really excited for this fundraiser. It's the first time we've done one of these. So I've kind of spearheaded the project with one of our volunteers. Her name is Amy. So basically how Chase the Ace works is a progressive jackpot lottery. So you go on, you buy envelopes, so that's your ticket as well. And then you can buy as many tickets as you like at a time. They're $5 each. They can be found at our website, chasetheaceoakridges.ca. We do the draws every Tuesday at 7 p.m. They're recorded and posted on our YouTube channel, as well as on our social media pages as well.
Okay, so as we're filming this, you're on week 3,
Yes.
so you've already, and you do the draw every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. So
Okay.
Monday is your last chance to buy tickets for week 3 of Chase the Ace. So tickets will be no longer purchasable as of Tuesday morning. So we go all day Tuesday, we print the tickets, we cut the tickets ourselves, we put them into a great big drum, and we roll the drum, and then myself and either Christine or Amy does the draw on Tuesday at 7, and then tickets go back on sale Wednesday morning.
Okay, so this is airing the week of your week 4.
Yes.
So if you're watching this, let's say on the Wednesday or the Thursday, then the draw would have happened on the Tuesday.
Yes.
And then that will determine whether there's an opportunity to purchase more tickets. So so I just want to make sure the audience knows that. Okay, so that's very exciting.
Yeah.
I would like to add
Yeah.
that when you look at a Chase the Ace lottery, every week the person would receive 20% of the ticket sales when we draw that ticket number.
Okay.
And if we reveal the card and it's the Ace of Spades, they would also get the progressive jackpot. So there is a weekly winner every week.
Okay,
So,
beautiful. That's amazing.
yeah.
How much does that? So the weekly winner gets 20% of whatever the sales were for that week. Is what you're saying? Okay, great. Thank you.
So currently our progressive jackpot is up over $1,000. Over the last couple of draws, the weekly jackpot has been between $250 and $350.
That would really help with groceries, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
Yeah, it would. Okay, tell me a little bit more about the hike. What's the history of the hike?
So the hike started 7 years ago when we weren't even built then.
Okay.
It was a fundraiser to bring money in so that we could construct the hospice.
Okay.
We've had some amazing people spearhead this, and it's really needed in our Durham area. So we're one of 3, and we were the first ones to be built. So the hike has been able to bring in money, and every year we're bringing in a little bit more.
So we don't have much time left, but can you just summarize why the hospice is so important for this area?
Sure. So when people are on that end of life journey, sometimes they want to do that at home, but sometimes, as my director says, the wheels fall off the cart and they need assistance. Because family don't have the experience and information to be able to provide for that person, so they come to us. We're able to provide them all kinds of medical care in a home-like setting, so people stay with us, and we help them in their journey to the end of their life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we've had 470 people stay with us since opening in 2021.
That's amazing.
So we've been so fortunate that they chose us, and we were very honored with that.
Yeah, thank you so much. What you do is so important, because knowing that you have a family member that it's not going to be with you very much longer, you need to have that, not only the emotional support, but all the other support that is needed as you get through it. Thank you so much for being on the show. And so make sure you get involved with either the hike or the Chase the Ace. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
I did it.
I need it.
A hero gave it.
And I am alive.
As an organ donor, you can save up to 8 lives and enhance the lives of 75 others. Please go to our website, Life's a gift of life. You'll be glad you did.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So at the end of the show, I like to pull a card with some inspirational messages to assist us with this week's energy. Today, I am pulling cards from my Energy of Oracle deck. And let's see what message want to come up. Okay, we had this not too long ago. It's the world. So we are all interconnected energetically. So we have our own little inner world that is happening with the direct people that we are associated with. But we are also impacted from what is happening around us, whether it's people in your community, people in different countries, different provinces. We can be affected by that energy because there is an energetic connection between all of us. And those of you who are empaths out there, I'm an empath, and sometimes I can be feeling the feels and not realizing that, oh, this isn't my stuff. Sometimes it could just be I'm feeling the energy of those surrounding us. So really tune into that this week and determine if you know, sometimes we need to use some tools to be able to shift our energy. And then by acknowledging what you're feeling, you might be able to have the realization when stuff is yours and when it's not yours. And when you have relationship with other people, whether it's in the workplace, family, etc., we can sometimes take on other people's energy. You're not responsible for what other people are going through within their own inner world, but yet we can have compassion for that. So keep all of that in mind. We'll be back with more next week on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Have a fabulous week.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
I'm sure right now a lot of you feel like you aren't able to be who you truly are.
What's most important, more important than everybody else knowing who you are, is that you know who you are.
As a young person, time moves slower for you. And just know that things will get better.
It Gets Better Canada is a registered Canadian charity with a focus on uplifting our queer youth through the power of digital storytelling.
As a Two-Spirit person, I use they, them pronouns, but that's not the case for every Two-Spirit person.
There are so many voices out there that we didn't have 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
No matter what your mind tells you, you really are perfect the way you are, so